Subscribe for more Dark Souls content like this, share this video with your friends, and I appreciate your support. Hello Dark Souls 3 fans, and welcome back to another episode of Methodical Gamer. Today we'll be taking a look at my Firelink Greatsword build. On this build we have the Firelink Greatsword, along with the complete Firelink armor set. On the ring slot I have Life Ring plus 3, which increases your HP by 10%. We have the Clothes Ring plus 2, which increases plus 9 stamina per second. The Ring of Steel Protection plus 2, which decreases physical incoming damage by 15%. And lastly, we have the Ring of Favor plus 2, which increases your HP, stamina, and equipment load. Here are the full laid out stats for the build. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below. In order to properly wield the Firelink Greatsword, your character will require the base stats of 20 Strength, 10 Dexterity, 10 Intelligence, and 10 Fate. At plus 5, the Firelink Greatsword will scale with a D in Strength and a D in Dexterity. The split components that make up the damage for the Firelink Greatsword are as follows: 234 physical base damage with a 147 scaling, and a 162 base fire damage. The reason I bring this up, even though this weapon has a base stat requirement for Intelligence and Fate, this weapon cannot be infused, nor does it scale with Intelligence or Fate, so this is not for a pyro build, it's more for a quality build. Alright, let's talk about the special battle art animation that comes with the Firelink Greatsword. The skill is titled Ember, and it reminds me a lot of the Getsuga Tencho from Bleach. It's an over-the-head downward swing that leaves a fire trail. The attack comes in two parts. The first is a blunt force that hits the opponent and knocks them off their feet. The second part comes from the DOT damage that stacks when the opponent stands in the AoE, much like the Chaos Fireball. I will activate this battle art target lock when I know my opponent is either out of stamina or they are in a position where they cannot dodge. If my opponent's trying to circle me, I will initiate non-target lock. But beware that a miscast can end in an easy backstab. Alright, I'm going to talk about something I usually don't talk about hardly ever with Dark Souls builds, but I think I'm going to start doing it more for Dark Souls 3, and it's the armor. I don't mention the armor because I always believe that one needs to go for fashion over stats when it comes to defense. I'm not a huge fan of this playstyle, but I have noticed more in Dark Souls 3 than other Souls games that it really comes down to tanking some of your opponent's blows to really ensure that you get some of your critical strikes in. Now again, I'm not a huge fan of this playstyle. I'm not one that's like going all in and trading blows until one person is knocked out. My playstyle is more go in, get your hits in, back out, analyze your opponent, analyze their playstyle, and go back in just for small little skirmishes until one player is victorious and becomes more of a battle of who can read the opponent better. But in Dark Souls 3, it's come down to sometimes just tanking out your opponent and just getting those critical blows in so you can win the match. So with that said, I'm not going to talk about my opponent's armor for every match, but rather I'm going to talk about my build's armor, and I'm going to talk about its greatest strengths and weaknesses. By doing this, I'm killing two birds with one stone. If you decide to mimic this build or make the exact same build, I would be greatly honored, first of all. But if you do, it will let you know exactly what to watch out for. And also, if you're facing this build in PvP, it will show you exactly what you need to do to chip away at the armor the best. For this build, the attacks this armor is best suited to handle are your slash type attacks and your fire attacks. However, the two types of attacks that this armor is weakest against are strike and dart. One of the last things I want to talk to you guys about is my personal playstyle with this weapon in particular. It doesn't change very much from my other playstyles with the Greatsword, minus my strategy to use with the battle art. My strategy for Greatswords have pretty much always been the same, and I think of it as a wait-and-see type of weapon class. So what I mean by that is you want to see exactly what your opponent's using, exactly how fast they're striking with their weapon, and which attacks they favor, whether that be their battle art, whether that be their R1s, R2s, or whether they prefer to be one-handed or two-handed, and knowing that moveset very well. The Greatsword weapon class type is unique because it's stuck right in the middle between speed and damage, and the player has to know exactly when and what to capitalize with this weapon. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this build, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button if you want to see more Dark Souls 3 content like this. Don't forget to share this video on your Twittergram, your Insta page, or your MySpace account. And until next time, remember to play smart and keep on winning.